गाइस वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की इस वीडियो में जिसका नाम है आर्ची सोनिक वर्सेस वली वेस्ट द फ्लैश, तो कौन जीतेगा इन दोनों में से। पहले अगर हम लोग आर्ची सोनिक का पावर स्किल करें तो तुम्हें पता हम लोग को पता चलेगा कि आर्ची सोनिक की जो बेस फॉर्म की जो फीट्स हैं उसके पास है फेट मैनिपुलेशन, जिससे कि वो बैटल्स को रीराइट कर सकता है, और इवन के आस कंट्रोल टाइप के हैक्सेस जो कि टाइम को पॉज कर सकते हैं, और ऐसी टाइप के बहुत सारे हैक्सेस हैं। तुमको मैं चलो ठीक बता ही दे रहा हूँ। उसने ब्लैक होल के फटने तक को सर्वाइव किया, जो कि बताता है उसकी ड्यूरेबिलिटी नेक्स्ट लेवल की है। और क्या लो उसने और जो 1 बिलियन रिंग का ऑरा है वो उसे फेट मैनिपुलेशन देता है, और इवन उसके पास टून मैनिपुलेशन भी है अल्ट्रा के पास, जो क्या लो किसी की बॉडी तक को मैनिपुलेट कर सकता है। खैर इस बैटल के लिए मेरे पास एक एनिमेशन है। आई विश कि तुम्हें वीडियो पसंद आएगी। टिल देन पीस,
enjoy। What will happen next? Well, you will find out in just a few seconds, though the only way you're going to understand a Marvel movie and you
Hey, we should do this again sometime.
Without a doubt, I need everyone to give a big round of applause to the one and only Jamix007. He is the producer and creator of Fatal Conflict and the animator of this Sonic vs. Flash movie. The absolute least you can do is a ton of effort for the post and eye candy. Without further ado, let's discuss Barry Allen versus Archie Sonic. The hardest part about Barry Allen versus Archie Sonic is not stepping into no limits fallacies. Both characters have multiple claims of having virtually infinite power and infinite speed and have defeated beings claiming the exact same things. We could go over who has better feats, but the problem is that this in specific is more of a hacks battle, not a stat battle. If we minus speed feats, speed stats, and haxes, both characters have very basic stats in every other category. Basic in comparison to what their speed feats and haxes are, not basic in their own rights. Because both characters have so wide speed stat gaps and so much of an overusage of haxing compared to statistical combat, saying that X character beats Y character because of stat Z would be a little too limited to each character's fullest potential. The biggest questions we need to answer really are A, what is the best way to beat Flash with the Speed Force? B, what is the best way to beat Ultrasonic and Archie Supersonic? And C, which character would have an easier time capitalizing on their opponent's flaws? The best way to beat Flash is to get Flash to beat the Flash. Unless you're one step away from God like Anti-Monitor, most of Flash's foes use an intelligence edge to try and beat him. Take Gorilla Grodd, Batman, or Captain Cold as examples. Though that wouldn't be Flash at his best. Saying he could get tricked and walk into a fatal mistake is just as weak of an argument as saying Archie Sonic could get tricked and walk into a fatal mistake. Yes, a star level Flash could get tricked and get punched by a universal Archie Sonic, but Archie Sonic could also make a mistake and get trapped in the Speed Force and lose via battlefield removal. Both of these outcomes are possible, but both rely too much on chance/luck and not enough on skill or hacks ability. The important thing that you need to know about the Speed Force is that it's a force. It's called the Force for a reason, as it is responsible for all the Speedster's powers in the DC universe. Barry on few occasions has lost his connection with the Speed Force due to technology built by Gorilla Grodd. Grodd basically used his lightning tower to attract the energy that would have went to Flash, instead going to him in his tower. Think of it as a pipeline being cut off and redirected to someone else. So for Sonic to beat the Flash, he would need an ability that could either block the matter that powers the Flash, or he would need to trap the Flash in a dimension in which he would need more than 2 months to finally get a hold of the Speed Force, which results in a loss via BFR. The best way to beat Archie Sonic would be to kill him while he's in his base form. This is his weakest form, and Eggman once did beat him in issue 175, at least temporarily, building a machine that matches Sonic's ring energy. Also in that issue specifically, it is important to know that prior to this battle, most of Sonic's friends were captured and teleported, which left Sonic in a very emotional and irrational state. Though the best way for Barry to beat Archie Sonic would be to find a way to take him out or commit BFR before he powers up. But if we have them fight at their best, this would be quite a challenge getting past the likes of Supersonic and Ultrasonic. Ultrasonic has the ability to directly manipulate atomic structure and rewrite them to his will, so he can turn water into stone and vice versa. Ultrasonic is also able to transfer energies into other zones and dimensions. He can send enemies to any zone of his choosing through the power of atomic rewriting. The worst zone Flash could be in would be the Zone of Silence, which is a dimension where after a few days all the sound and vibrations a user would have would cease to exist. Keeping the Flash in there for a few days will not be easy, but Ultrasonic could use his atomic rewriting to cut off that pipeline of Speed Force energy, similar to the way that Gorilla Grodd did to take away Flash's powers. Rewriting atoms is quite a broken hack. If Ultrasonic can keep all the atoms away from Flash, even the ones from other dimensions, it would be very difficult for Flash to have a base force of energy to move off of. Flash can't move if there's nowhere to move to. I'm not saying Archie Sonic could keep Flash still, but he could keep atoms away from Flash, and without atoms, Flash would be reduced to just himself. Ultrasonic could not harm living atoms, so he can't directly just break down the Flash, but again, he could most likely win via BFR. The most likely outcome of either character winning would be through BFR, and that is without stepping into no limits fallacy valleys, because I could go on for days showing that each character having infinite energy, infinite speed, and infinite power, it would just be too broken of a debate that wouldn't have a clear winner. Which then leads us to the final question. Is it more likely that Archie Sonic gets stuck in the Speed Force for 2 years like Superboy Prime, or is it more likely that Flash gets stuck in the zone of silence? I personally believe that Flash getting stuck in the zone of silence is more likely due to the fact that Ultrasonic will always have atoms or particles around him in any layer of the Speed Force to use for his advantage, but in the zone of silence, eventually after a few days, Flash will lose his pipeline of power, maybe not indefinitely but long enough to lose via BFR, making the winner of this Rumble, Archie Ultrasonic. Now, I am willing.
हमारा यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन होगा कि कैसे आर्ची सोनिक जीता। उसके पास फेट मैनिपुलेशन है जो कि कल वैली वेस्ट की रियलिटी को फिर से लिख सकता है, और इवन उसके पास टून मैनिपुलेशन जिससे कि वो बॉडी को मैनिपुलेट कर सकता है, अल्ट्रा की बात करूँ स्पेसिफिकली। वैसे वैली वेस्ट यहाँ पे जीत सकता है। हम लोगों ने देखा स्पीड फोर्स क्या क्या कर सकता है, वो सब कुछ देख सकता है उसे।